Okay, so we're starting off lesson number 2 here. Lesson number 2 in the series continuing. If you didn't look at lesson number 1, I'll be nice this time and give you a brief overview of what we ran through. We ran through and we learned that a staff is what we write music on, and a staff is composed of 5 evenly spaced lines with 4 spaces. We start counting from the bottom line to the top to number our lines. So this is line number 1, this is line number 2, line number 3, line number 4, line number 5. This is line number 3, that's line number 2, that's line number 1. Spaces, this is space number 1, this is space number 4, this is space number 3, this is space number 2. Okay, staff has 5 lines, 4 spaces. Cool. The next thing that you learn music-wise are the 2 basic clef signs. At the beginning of every piece of music, there is a clef sign which is used to give letter names to each line and each space on the staff. The 2 main ones that you normally see are the treble clef and the bass clef. Okay, the treble clef and the bass clef. Now, most of you have probably seen the treble clef before. Pardon me while I get some new chalk. Most of you have seen the treble clef before, and you've probably drawn one while you were in school. So and now, in these lessons, I'm going to require you to actually draw a treble clef sign. So what I'm going to do right now is give you Mr. Gilliard's quick and easy way to draw a treble clef sign. Just find a blank white space on the edge of your paper, and I'll give you a couple seconds here, and then we'll begin while I answer my phone. Okay, now you done went and got yourself some paper. Good. All right, we're back to the staff here. Any blank white space on your paper, the first thing I need you to do, give me a straight line right here. And understand something. If you are capable of simply walking up to a staff and doing this and making it look all pretty and everything, and you already know how to draw one correctly, then you can actually skip through this. But if you want to teach a friend, go ahead and take a look. Anyway, give me a straight line. That's what we need to do. The top here, we're going to turn this into, it'll look like kind of a P with a long line. It looked like kind of a P with a long line. And this part always cracks. Yeah. Anyway, now it's a P with a long line, and it's a P with a long line and a big butt. Yes, it's a P with a long line, and it's a P with a big butt. Okay? And like all good P's with big butts, they end up gaining weight. Yes, they gain weight. P's with big butts gain weight, yes. So far, we've got a P. P with a long line. There's a loop on, there's a half circle on the back, and there's a little bit of a gut, if you will, on the front. Now, this is the most difficult part of the entire exercise, so you must pay close attention. Voila! Mr. Gilliard's quick, dirty, and easy way to draw a treble clef sign. Now, while you're drawing your treble clef signs, and this is also very important, the loop section on your treble clef, while you're drawing it, must not come past the 3rd line. It must circle the 2nd line. So if you happen to draw it something like this, because you know it looks kind of cool and everything, it is incorrect. The loop must circle the 2nd line. The reason for this is that the treble clef circling that 2nd line actually gives it a letter name. It gives it the letter name G. Another name for the treble clef is another name for the treble clef is the G clef. So if you've ever heard someone say a G clef or say a treble clef, both are used interchangeably, though most people will usually just say a treble clef. Okay. Do your best to draw your treble clefs slowly so that people can actually see what it is you're drawing. Again, let me run you through the steps here. It's a straight line. You kind of turn it into a little bit of a P at the top. It's a P with a half circle attached to the back of it. A half circle with a gut. Excuse me, let me make this line straighter again. Yeah, so straight line, turn it into a P, half circle, give it a gut, and bring it through. And put the little curl ball down at the bottom. Bam, you've got a treble clef. Bass clef is extremely easy. Another name for the bass clef. Another name for the bass clef. And please, all my fisherman folks out there, it's not the bass clef. It's the bass clef. Long A. It's the bass clef. Okay. The bass clef, when drawn, is probably the easiest one out of all of them. Make yourself a nice big dot right on the fourth line, just like this. And what you're simply going to do is bring this around, put a little arc on there. So it looks like one big gigantic comma. Two dots, a colon if you will go one in the fourth space, one in the third space. The bass clef is also called the F clef. Guess which line the dot goes on? The fourth line, and guess what the name of the line is going to be? That's right, F. So, it's the bass clef or the F clef. You've got two dots right here. These two dots also go one in the third space, one in the fourth space. They also help name this line for the letter F. Okay, so rehashing over our past two lessons so that you understand well what we've done so far. We learned a couple different concepts. Concept number one, music is written on a staff. A staff has 5 lines and 4 spaces. This is a staff. We number the lines and spaces on a staff from the bottom up. So this is line number 1, this is line number 3, 4, 5, this is space number 1, 3, 4, space number 2. We use clef signs to determine what the names of the lines and spaces on the staff are going to be. This is a treble clef sign, or a G clef sign, and it must be drawn so that the curl comes around and circles the second line and doesn't go past the third line. This is a bass clef sign, or F clef. The 2 dots go into third and fourth spaces, and you draw it starting off as a dot on the fourth line that you kind of bring an arc around to, so it looks like a giant apostrophe. Okay, next up, in lesson number 3, we'll start covering the names of the rest of notes on the lines and spaces. See you soon.